You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. I am your host, Matt Burns, and with me, as always, I've got John Ballore, and welcome to the fallout of WrestleMania.
Hello. Yes, what promises to be a incredibly opinionated hour or so of your evening, or whenever you happen to be listening, as we dissect everything that happened in New York over the course of last Sunday, and probably over last weekend, because I think we're going to talk about TakeOver as well.
We can potentially talk a little bit about TakeOver and everything, as that was... as much as we wanted to talk about it on the last episode, we couldn't.
No, because we thought we'd give you fair warning and fair chance to catch up, just in case you hadn't seen it. But frankly, now, a week out from it, if you haven't seen it, then warning, there probably will be spoilers, because you really should have by now.
Probably.
All right, then.
It's not going to be probably. It will be. But take into account, you've had a whole week.
Yep.
Spoilers
and if you're enough
all
of a wrestling fan outside of wrestling to listen to this podcast, as well as to watch all the stuff WWE produces, you will have seen it by now.
Pretty much. And
awesome.
You know, if you've got Facebook, you've probably already had it spoiled. If you've got a YouTube account, it's been spoiled.
I don't know. I don't use either of those things particularly. Twitter was fairly good. I'm sure it would have been spoiled if you follow any of the people who consider it their job to go on Twitter and report it. But for me, I don't massively, so it was good.
Well, anyway, let's get down straight down to business, shall we? Let's get on to... shall we discuss NXT first before we get to WrestleMania?
I think we probably should, because it'll take less time, because we've got less matches, if not less actual action to cover. So, yeah, let's start with NXT TakeOver New York.
Mm-hmm.
What a fantastic show it was.
That it was. And if I'm not mistaken, it even had some other results on there which were recorded for NXT as well.
Yes. I think I tweeted at the time, best TakeOver ever, and trust me, that's saying something.
It's got to be saying something, because I know how much you love your NXT.
Oh, yes. And, well, put it this way, in the, what is it now, 5 years they've been doing NXT TakeOvers, they haven't had a bad whole show yet. In fact, I think I could probably count the number of matches that were less than 3 stars on one hand. That's how consistently brilliant they are. So to say Correct. This is the best one is high praise indeed.
Correct. And also, just as a bit of a rehash, in case if anybody was actually following our predictions, we actually tied out of the 5 matches that we actually had to pick from. And the irony of it is, if I'm not mistaken, and I know I probably mentioned this on the last episode, you turned around and cursed me, please don't say draw, because it might actually happen.
Yeah. Guess what, folks? It did.
Oops. It happens.
Do you know what? It happened. We can't dwell on it. Let's just admit, yep, it happened. What can you do?
However, the results from the matches, some of them were as expected, some of them were twists and turns, and some of them completely... Where did that come from?
Just a little bit.
Well, straight away...
It was...
As the extra stuff, shall we mention the extra matches for NXT, or shall we just skip past that?
I think we should probably just avoid them on the grounds that people will see them when NXT is aired. So
they already have aired.
Oh, were they on this week's NXT?
They were.
Okay, then. Well, I guess it doesn't do any harm to mention them then if they've already aired.
Well, straight away we've got the Street Profits and Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford defeating Fabian. Is it Aiche?
Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins facing off against the team that they've teased is called the European Union, but they haven't made that official yet. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel.
There we go. Which, as we saw, unfortunately, we couldn't. These matches we couldn't actually predict because we weren't even informed about it. We didn't know about them. They were they were recorded, but they were actually recorded for NXT, so we didn't actually know that they were scheduled and penciled in for the event.
Yeah, were they before or after the event?
Before.
Oh, before, as sort of warm-up matches. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Almost like the dark matches.
I didn't know if that actually got revealed. The in vogue term, but yes.
Well, we say dark match because a dark match is actually ones that don't actually see the light of day. These aren't dark matches. These actually ended up being part of NXT.
Of NXT television, yep. I'm with you. But anyway, it was a fantastic match, and
we had the Street Profits beating
Eichner and Bartel.
Correct, and then after great contest, and then we have Jason Riker versus Danny Burch.
Jackson Riker. Don't even get me started on the special place in hell that I have reserved for people who spell the name Jackson with the letter X. It's not how it's spelt. Get over yourselves, people. It's not
Jackson.
Spelt with an X. Jackson. Jackson. There is no X in it. If you think there is, you need punching in the head by Braun Strowman until your head resembles jam.
Whoa. So you're saying it's Jason Riker?
No, it's Jackson. I said Jason. Spelled in a retarded way.
I said Jason. I got rid of the X, like you asked.
Yes, I appreciate that. But unfortunately, though you've ignored the X like every sensible person should, unfortunately, WWE insists that we don't.
Okay, it's Jackson Riker, and apologies, Mr. Riker, for me getting your name pronounced incorrectly.
Yeah, he does. He seems like quite an angry individual. It's probably best that you do apologise. But like I said, there's a special place in hell reserved for people who spell the name Jackson with an X, so he's in it.
Yeah, actually, I just realised who he is, isn't he? He's the former Impact wrestler known as Gunner.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, it's all right. Anyway, the damn I wish you'd stayed forgotten sons are who he is a member of.
He is, and he ended up beating Danny Burch.
And then Oney Lorcan came out to try and even up the numbers, which meant that the please stay forgotten sons of, who is it, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake came out and unevened up the numbers again and beat down Burch and Lorcan.
You really don't like them, do you?
I think the gimmick is a bit rubbish, to be honest.
Ouch.
Hmm.
And bear in mind that they were one victory away from being against the War Raiders.
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress.
Anyway,
Let's get on.
We digress.
And
let's go on to the main takeover card.
No. We've got one more. We've got Candice LeRae versus Aliyah.
Ah, yeah. Do you know what? I watched NXT earlier, and I remember watching this match, but just then, when it was important that I needed to remember it, I didn't. Apologies.
Oh dear. Someone's having a memory lapse.
Oh well.
Someone's having memory
lapse. Candice LeRae versus Aliyah and her little helper, who's anything but little. Vanessa Bourne.
Ringside.
Big hair, big personality, big attitude.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Although all of that wasn't enough to stop Aaliyah losing to Candice LeRae.
Too true. Too true. However, Candice LeRae would be returning much later on.
Yes.
But anyway, we digress. Let's get down to the main event, which, just so everybody knows, yeah, as we said, Candice LeRae defeated Aaliyah. You're forgetting stuff and I'm mispronouncing names. Great start.
Yeah, everything is going swimmingly. Let's hope this continues.
Shall we? And as I'll state again, I apologise for getting any of your names wrong. I do apologise. Right. Anyway, on to the main event.
Right, the main show, NXT TakeOver, was opened by... I'm saying this and then I'm stopping because I'm like, was it the War Raiders or was it not?
It was War Raiders.
The epic, wonderful, brutal, spectacular War Raiders defending the NXT Tag Team titles against the European connection of Aleister Black and his little Irish buddy, Rick O'Shea.
Irish?
Yeah. Rick O'Shea.
He's not Irish.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the penny to drop there, seeing how long it took you to get there.
What the hell? He's not Irish.
His name is Rick. Do I have to spell it out?
I got what you meant, but still, that's a bad pun.
It's terrible, but it needs to be done. And now it is done, and you can't take it back.
God, that's almost bad as your tag team name for them.
What? A highlight of their surnames, Black and O'Shea.
Oh, God.
Black O'Shea.
Oh, God, Lord.
Now at least you understand why. Ladies and gentlemen, I have rendered Matt Burns speechless. This will not be the final time this evening this will happen. See if you can spot the next one.
Good Lord. Anyway.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Despite a valiant effort, the emphatically not Irish Ricochet and the emphatically, very definitely Dutch Aleister Black came up short against the War Raiders.
Correct. And absolutely devastating tag team match. Brilliant back and forth. Definitely one to watch.
The kind of sort of 10, 12 minute short, sharp shock of a match that War Raiders specialise in. Didn't need to be any longer. Brutal enough as it was. Had everything that it needed to have. And going forward with Black and Ricochet moving on to the main roster, the right team won.
Correct. But also take into account that Aleister Black and Ricochet will be appearing again on this broadcast later on.
Yes.
But anyway, moving on
to the main roster thing is the wonders of double duty.
The wonders of double duty, correct. But anyway,
moving on. Get paid twice.
Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle for the NXT North American Championship.
Wow. Very, very much by a country mile, the Velveteen Dream's stiffest test so far. Also conveniently his first as champion.
That it is.
Good Lord.
And
he escaped with his title, but I don't think to this day Matt Riddle knows how.
Good Lord. And Matt Riddle is tough, is really tough. And might have a bit of a funny story involving him a bit later on as well.
Interesting.
A little bit later.
Yeah. I'll try and remember to remind you.
Don't worry. Trust me when I say this. A certain match will remind me of that.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, this was a brutal, hard-hitting match. Of the kind that Velveteen Dream is perhaps not yet used to having.
Yeah, especially against a former...
had to take 90% of the offense.
Yeah, taking into account that he is up against a former MMA star, Matt Riddle.
Yes. And it was brutal, it was amazing, and Velveteen Dream managed to inflict his first defeat in WWE or NXT on Matt Riddle.
I believe it was.
I'm not sure if it's his first outright, but it's definitely his first televised.
Yeah, I think it is. It's his first... No, it's not outright because he has lost at other companies, but his first one on forward WWE.
No, I meant in NXT, yeah, but...
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was his first loss for NXT, but it's definitely his first on TV.
No, I think it is.
Oh, there you go.
I think it is. But anyway, if we are wrong, please let us know. And we do apologise.
Yeah, we make no claims to being infallible. We do make mistakes. So, kindly, politely, let us know if we are wrong.
Yeah, just let us know, and we will be the people who will turn around and say we're wrong. But anyway,
we got that wrong. Sorry, yeah, epic. The next match, if I remember correctly, was it UK Championship? Was it the Women's Championship that came next?
UK Championship, because that's
was the UK Championship
to my
eye. Yeah. What, from out of sadness or just wincing at how stiffly they hit each other?
Both.
Yeah. Pete Dunne and Walter spent approximately 17, 18 minutes kicking 700 shades out of each other.
I believe it was a bit longer than that.
Was it?
I think it was close to roughly... I'd say it was at least over 20 minutes.
Yeah, and the amount of times that the watching person sat at home, if they're anything like me, briefly looked away from the TV and winced, probably went off the scale.
Plenty of cardiac arrests coming in.
Absolutely. It was a brutal, hard-hitting smash mouth. Well, basically everything you've come to expect from Pete Dunne turned up to 11 because of who he was facing.
Correct. However, there is a rumour, before we get on to this...
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened at WXW?
West Side Extreme Wrestling, the German company, for which I believe Walter is, or until very recently was, also the heavyweight champion of.
Was.
I'm guessing that's what happened then.
He was. He isn't anymore.
In a marvellous piece of serendipity, is Pete Dunne now the WXW champion?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else is. Somebody
is it
left.
Someone that WWE fans will be aware of?
Somebody left WXW.
Well, as in, isn't going back?
Is not going back. Stated that the reason why he's leaving is because Walter wasn't man enough to go back and fight him, and that he took his balls and went to WWE.
What, so because he couldn't get a match with one guy, he's left the whole company?
Oh, no. This man is fixated on Walter. Not just in one company.
Okay. Not being as up with WXW as I perhaps should be. Who is this possibly slightly psychopathic person?
This man wrestles for Over the Top. This man wrestles for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. This man wrestles for Defiant Wrestling.
This man has got a death wish if he wants to fight Walter that badly.
Oh, he's fought him.
All right.
He has fought him. Many, many times. However, please be on standby while I acquire additional information. Would you like me to? Would you like me to mention the name like it was an introduction?
If you so wish.
I have to.
Because I'm struggling.
This man deserves it.
Who it is.
This man demands it. If he's ever on this broadcast.
It's not Lesnar, is it?
This man demands it, and this man would get it from me, and I would announce him as... Here's the cream in your coffee, your favourite wrestler's favourite wrestler, the Jewish Cannon, the physical embodiment of charisma, the most entertaining man in professional wrestling, the Bernie Sanders of professional wrestling, the best of the best, Mr. Americana, David Wrestling, the 104-minute man, the main event, he's really good at Twitter, the king of taunts, the product, David Starr!
Interesting. Is that really the best he could come up with? All them world-class accolades, and he's really good at Twitter. Really?
Yes! I like how you're focusing on that one. I like it how you're focusing on that one.
Well, you know, that was the one that caught my ear, as it were.
Yeah, as you do. But anyway, he has left...
As a result of this, might Mr. David Starr wash up on the shores of NXT UK fairly shortly? Do we think or hope?
They don't know, but as he's still wrestling for his other companies, he's still doing great. However, if he does get to NXT UK, I hope nothing but the damn well best. If this is all part of a storyline, it's an amazing storyline for WXW, and is absolutely genius.
It's a lovely bit of publicity, there can be no doubt about that.
Correct. But straight away, David Starr, I did not expect that from him.
Understandable, really.
And if I'm not mistaken... He has recently also become a CZW champion.
Combat Zone Wrestling champion?
Yeah.
Wow.
He has.
Impressive stuff.
That he has. But
now,
congratulations to him on that.
Here, but a Combat Zone Wrestling champion or the Combat Zone Wrestling champion?
I'll need to get that confirmed right now for you. Just bear with me for a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. Because we are digressing slightly, but nonetheless, it is important we get our facts straight.
But anyway, while I am finding that information out, would you care to continue on with the card?
Yes. We went on a digression because we were talking about Walter, who, well, if David Starr does get his match against Walter, if he washes up in NXT UK, it'll be for the big gold shiny new belt that Walter's just won. Which, ladies and gentlemen, after 685 days, the impossible has happened. Pete Dunne is no longer WWE United Kingdom champion.
That he is. However, he turns around and says, trailblazing, and that's setting the bar. No kidding.
Absolutely.
But he ain't
no
done.
Kidding. He's not done by a long shot.
Correct. He wants Walter.
Thanks to over 20 minutes of the living daylights being beaten out of him, and then a frankly career ending on a normal human being flying headbutt from Walter, we have a new NXT UK champion.
That we do. And
in a match that was worthy of the main event, but was not even it. That's how good this takeover was.
That's what I'm saying. This is... 6 matches in? This is now of a 8-match show, even though for the actual event it's 5 matches,
or 3 of 5 on the actual televised show. But yes, quite some going. The 4th match was the Fatal 4-Way for the women's NXT Women's Championship. Just before we go any further, by the way, David Starr, CZW champion, yes or no, and which one?
Still looking it up now. Carry on.
Okay, I will. It is the Women's NXT Championship Fatal 4-Way, which was the semi-main event. It featured reigning champion Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai is the name I was struggling for there. Kairi Sane and Bianca Belair. It had the unenviable job of following on from the Pete Dunne and Walter war. It did a fairly good job in the circumstances, really. And although it was one of the things which caused my predictions to falter, which is why I didn't win. Hey, it was a draw. I didn't lose either. It's all good. I did not get the result right. I think Kyle did. So when he gets back from his internet search engine trip,
Kyle,
he can talk about that at length. But yeah, the net result
Kyle.
was, and still...
Actually, I have to apologise.
You do?
I do. As unfortunately, it wasn't Combat Zone.
Okay.
This is one of the moments where I have to state I am infallible.
You mean you are fallible?
Yeah, okay, I am fallible. Yeah. I can make mistakes. I messed up.
You'll do. Yeah, it's out there. You've admitted it. It's fine. Correct it. Who is it?
No. Davey Starr did actually win a championship. I am just literally looking it up now for you.
Okay, that's cool.
Currently.
That's fine, yeah.
Oh, no.
Just in case we're wondering, we're talking about two things at once here.
It is an image of... right. He has got an image of him with the CZW Championship. The World Championship.
I see.
So, my mistake. Double mistake. He, from the looks of it, it looks like he is possibly CZW World Champion.
Okay.
But, however, if you actually go on to CZW themselves, it's not stating that yet. I'll just look into this. I'm just going to look a bit more into this. Would you care to continue explaining on the Fatal 4-Way, please?
I think so. I think I got to the point where I was basically going to say who won. It was a fantastic back and forth affair. A lot of, as predicted perhaps, interference by Shayna's little helpers at ringside. And despite the best efforts of the other three ladies involved, there was not a new women's champion at NXT TakeOver.
Right.
As Shayna is very keen on saying, she is still your NXT Women's Champion. And I'm guessing from that as a result of his internet search engine travels, Mr. Matt Burns is none the wiser.
Very interesting. It cannot be it can neither be confirmed
nor denied.
Or denied. Because
there's
by my
a picture.
Research, there's an actual picture on David Starr's social media with him having the CZW World Championship on his shoulder. However, it is being registered that he, by CZW's thingy that it may not be him. It might still be the former champion. So the question is,
to the website, who is the champion currently?
The current champion, from what it looks like,
according to the records on the official CZW website,
is Mace Warner.
I see.
And that's also from Wikipedia as well.
Okay.
As well. So I'm actually just looking into the actual website directly as well. So, shock and horror, a lot has happened.
Way to digress, guys, but yes. Anyway, while he does that, where was I? Oh yeah, Shayna Baszler retained the NXT Women's Championship, which means, just briefly, if I can tell you away, do you have any input on that match? It was a fantastic match.
Cool.
In the shadow of Pete Dunne and Walter, it had a lot to live up to, but I think it did an admirable job of doing that.
It did an absolute great job. And allow me to just state one thing for you. Called it.
All right, smug pants. Just because I didn't. Man enough to admit that.
What? I had to say called it.
Yeah, you got it right. I didn't. Okay, moving swiftly on. I admitted it. Let's not dwell on it.
We're not.
The main event of NXT TakeOver New York was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant NXT Championship, pitting Adam Participation against the living legend of Johnny Gargano. Sorry, I'm using his own promo against him there. Adam Cole against Johnny Gargano. I can see that Kyle is not a fan of that joke, but too late.
Who is Kyle?
Hey!
Who is Kyle? I'm Matt Baines.
Who? Who is this person?
You're the one who's mentioning his name.
I know who it is. It's the studio cleaner who dropped his mop on my head earlier.
No, it's not. You leave my cousin out of this.
Well, there must be a reason why I'm mentioning someone who doesn't exist. I must have a concussion. Thus, the studio cleaner must have accidentally done it with his mop.
Forgetting names, next I'll be calling you Johnny Blaze.
Who? Oh, I see what you did there. Yes, well, you might as well do that a couple of times to even up the score because, hey, I'm inventing people.
But anyway, let's get back to business.
Okay, for the rest of this show, I'm going to endeavour to call you
Matt Baines.
Keith Mangasuta Butalazy.
No. Anyway, back to where the original story that I was looking up for you.
Hawkeye?
No. Let's get back to, straight back to the product Davey Starr. At the moment, it is neither confirmed or can be denied. I will find out for next week's episode if he is, in fact, the new CCW champion. However, if I'm not mistaken, he is the IPW UK champion.
Ah, okay then. So, whether or not he comes to NXT, or indeed NXT UK, because either is possible, in the near future, remains to be seen. But it won't be for a while yet because he's got a couple of titles. He's got 1 or possibly 2 titles elsewhere. Bit of business to attend to, so it's not going to be immediate. Is that what we're saying?
A very, very busy bunny.
Yes. Almost as busy a bunny as Mr. Johnny Wrestling.
Johnny Wrestling. And anyway, let's get back to business, shall we?
Let's do that. We are about to talk about the main event. As I said, I got as far as saying it was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant NXT Championship, pitting Johnny Gargano against Adam Cole, and I got no further. So,
ladies and gentlemen, carry on.
My God, it was a good match.
It was.
It was everything that you would have expected and hoped for, and probably pretty much, I'd like to think, everything you would have got from Gargano against Ciampa, number 47, had Ciampa unfortunately not been injured.
Correct. And the biggest shocker of it is well, not the biggest shocker, Johnny Gargano showed Adam Cole why he's now named Johnny Champion.
Why he's now named Johnny Grand Slam.
Johnny Grand Slam, and he is not Johnny Participation.
No, he is not, because after losing the first fall and putting everyone who had their hopes up that he would not do such a thing sort of bit deflated in the chair, like, it's not going to happen, is it?
It's not.
He then went on to beat Adam Cole over 2 straight falls and claim the NXT Championship. Yep.
You missed something, Cough.
Go on.
Baby.
No, I didn't. It's lies.
I had to. You know I had to.
Question.
Yes.
For future reference, for when he gets onto the main roster.
Yeah.
Do you think WWE are going to try and do an angle where Adam Cole is a certain commentator's son?
What? Oh my good lord. You are not suggesting him to be Michael Cole's son.
Well, if Jason Jordan is Kurt Angle's son, anything is possible. You know what I'm saying?
Good lord.
Anyway, enough about that. Back to the 5-star classic that was the NXT TakeOver main event. What a match. What a fantastic ending.
Yes.
Fantastic, not grateful, rightful champion, I feel. Did have a bit of a meltdown on this about Twitter, about how anyone could possibly think Adam Cole was going to win. But some people did, and I feel sorry for them because they will have been massively disappointed.
Thank you.
However, all Johnny Gargano fans are pleased that Johnny Triple Crown has achieved his lifelong dream.
Let me just state this one fact. I did pick Adam Cole to win.
Yes.
I stated my reason why. However, I did also state that I wanted Gargano to win.
Hey, I'm not judging. I am not judging. I am simply saying...
I did actually want Gargano to win because, if I'm honest with you, the man is very deserving and he even had his family there to watch that match.
Absolutely.
And behold, as we mentioned earlier, Candice LeRae came out later on after the match to celebrate.
Yes. As, bizarrely, and in one of those, yeah, it's great and he deserves it, but at the same time, kayfabe, it's not dead, you know, but things like that don't help moments. So did Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
Not sure what to make of that, but let's not get angry about
it might not
the
be.
end
it
to what
might
was an
actually
epic
play
match
along with
and
it
an
because...
epic
No,
show.
no. Here's the way how you do it. Simple. He's happy for Gargano right now. He's on an all-time high. But here's the thing. When he comes back, he gets to take it all away from him.
I see. Well, that, when he does come back, will be an absolutely epic, re-ignition of a feud that wasn't ever even remotely over.
Correct. But anyway, we digress.
We have been digressing massively. We haven't even started talking about WrestleMania yet.
I know.
So, with that in mind, 6 stars out of 5 is my official score for NXT TakeOver New York. And shut up, yes, I can do that.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
It was one of those things that is not normally physically possible. It was better than perfect.
Let me just say this to you. I am actually waiting for that one show of NXT where it's like...
Yeah, I'm just sadly waiting for it as well. The one where afterwards all the fans come our way going, oh, that was all right, but it was nothing special.
No. It was good, but it wasn't NXT TakeOver special.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was all right. It had a couple of 5-star matches and everything was amazing, but, you know, a couple of them fell a bit flat and they were probably only 3 stars, and it just wasn't the usual wall-to-wall brilliance we expected, and we don't know how to feel about that.
And I'm dreading that.
Yeah, it's got to happen eventually, but I'm dreading it as well.
It has got to happen eventually, but in the meantime, let's enjoy it.
Let's just keep enjoying the brilliance. And, as a nice segue and a segue over to the other show, let's hope they do a few more WrestleManias like 35 over the coming years as well. Because before we get onto the individual results, I would just like to say, as a show, WrestleMania this year did everything that the last few years, for me at least, is my opinion, not necessarily that of Matt Burns or The Burning Truth, just me, but WrestleMania this year did everything that the last few years worth of WrestleManias haven't done. I personally have felt in the last few years that WrestleManias have been 10 out of 10 on build-up, and then maybe 5 or 6 out of 10 on actual execution, because the results haven't gone the way the fans have wanted, and for the biggest show of the year, that's a disappointment. This year, however, as well documented by us, my God, the build-up was all over the place. But the show itself ticked all the right boxes and was bloody marvellous for it.
Damn right.
So, yeah, well done, WWE. If you can get the build-up right as well and then pull off another show as good as that next year, nobody will have anything to complain about.
However, if anybody was listening to us last week, you probably heard some of the results on air, live.
A couple of the pre-show results, yes, because we were still broadcasting after 10 o'clock UK time when the pre-show was airing.
That we were. But anyway, let's get down to business and shall we just discuss? We'll do some quick fire ones and we'll do some actual talking on some of the main events. Some of them will need to be discussed, others not so much.
Yeah, we'll try and keep it to a minimum where we don't have to say too much, but we'll mention what we have to.
Correct. Now,
that's the plan. Let's move on, Ori, but that's the plan.
Let's get on to the pre-show. Tony Nese defeating Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Tony Nese stopped the unstoppable.
He did. And I will say, interesting match. Originally, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the matches that was originally scheduled to be on the main roster. However, due to time constraints, it got pulled into the pre-show and ended up being the opening pre-show match.
Yes, due to the way things panned out, they ended up having 4 matches on the pre-show because, well, to be honest, Coach and an assorted panel of legends and guests talking about the matches was only going to fill so much time. So they also had probably too many matches for the time available, so they shifted things around and it ended up working all right.
Correct, and it did. Absolutely phenomenal show. That is, great match as well for Tony Nese beating Buddy Murphy. Then we had the women's, women's battle royal,
women's WrestleMania battle royal.
Yeah, what did you think of it?
It seemed a little rushed in places, a little bit like someone had said to them, like it was the bad old days. Like, how many of you are there? 15. You get 30 seconds. I'll give the match 30 seconds for each of you that are in it. Get out there, get thrown out, and get back in as quickly as possible. It was all right, but it felt like it could have been about 10 minutes longer.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was roughly about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Exactly. 10 minutes longer wouldn't have hurt it, especially given some of the waffling that was being done by the panel in the pre-show that it could have replaced.
Who knows? But anyway, let's move on. If I'm not mistaken, Kamala beat Sarah Logan.
That's
last eliminating Sarah Logan.
Point. Yeah, I don't get that. That was on course to be another feel-good WrestleMania moment. Sarah Logan.
I will be honest with you. I did not expect Carmella to be winning this. Neither
did I.
I didn't even expect Sarah Logan to eliminate Asuka. What the hell?
I didn't expect that either. But I was happy at the point when I thought Sarah Logan had won, because I thought, do you know what? WWE is acknowledging a talent that it maybe doesn't acknowledge enough on air, and good for her. And then what I like to refer to as the Sandman moment happened.
The Sandman?
Does anyone remember that moment in about 2006-07 after the ECW revival, when they had a battle royal to determine the new general manager on Raw, and everyone thought the Sandman had won until... Shit, my memory's failed me. Who was it that came out from under the ring and eliminated him and became the actual general manager?
Was that Armand Mondo?
It might well have been, yeah.
Was it?
But yeah, it was a bit of a Sandman moment. It was like, oh my God, they haven't actually let them win, have they? Oh no, they haven't. Bugger.
However, Carmella wasn't eliminated, and much to the shock of Sarah Logan. The only thing I didn't get... Now, the thing is, this shows that Carmella is a face. Straight off. The fact that she waited for Sarah Logan to turn around, so losing the element of surprise.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was supposed to work either, but she still managed to eliminate her, so...
She eliminated it, and we now have Carmella, who is the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal winner.
Yes.
Then we get to tag team match, Raw tag team.
This, I did not understand why it was on the pre-show, but hey,
I understand why it was on the pre-show.
These guys can't buy a break at the minute.
I understand why it was on the pre-show, because there was no build-up to it. It was thrown in the last minute.
Okay. If you put it like that, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Which is understandable. However, this is one match that I got right.
Yeah, you did, but I kind of wish you didn't.
I wish I didn't either. I wish I got it wrong.
2 days after the 685-day reign of Pete Dunne as UK champion came to an end, the 269 match losing streak of Kurt Hawkins also came to an end.
Yes. When Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder defeated the Revival.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, makes the Major Brothers 2-time WWE Tag Team Champions.
I see what you did there.
Yes, with possibly the most ridiculous 10-year gap in between that you'll ever hear.
Were they champions before?
I believe so.
Not sure, but they weren't the major. They've never been champions as the Major Brothers. However, it was nice that they actually had some homage of that on Zack Ryder's gear. Still major.
Yeah. If you just bear with me, I will Google that.
What?
Because I'm fairly certain they have been champions before. I'm just gonna. Oh damn! I said the name of the internet search engine that the whole of the rest of the show before that I was trying not to say. Let's not dwell on it. Anyway, I'm going to just look that up.
Google.
Oh, that's all right then. I'm going to look it up anyway. Give me a minute.
Come on, we can mention Google. If not, we can at least, as much as we mention it, they can probably throw some ad revenue. But anyway, absolute back and forth match. They were teasing it a lot. You could see where it was going, and unfortunately, the Revival did lose. But special moment for Hometown Boys.
Yep.
Supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, Hometown.
Yep. Long Island.
Congratulations. Absolutely deserving.
Yep.
But anyway, moving on from that, because I feel if I don't move on, either myself or, my colleague will get on our soapbox in regards to for the Revival, and we haven't got all day. Let's get on to the 30-man Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Just while I am Googling, the Major Brothers history.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Men's Battle Royal.
We are. And just so you know, I've just done a quick assumption on wrestling. Yes, they are two times current tag team champions.
Yes. But I know all I'm trying to work out is whether the first time they were known as Ryder and Hawkins or the Major Brothers when they won the first title, and my research has been inconclusive.
They weren't Major Brothers.
They weren't. They were Ryder and Hawkins both times.
They were both times.
Fair enough.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they won it at the Great American Bash July 20th, 2008, and I believe that was a fatal four-way tag team match involving Jesse and Festus and the team of Finlay and Hornswoggle.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm just trying to remember who the champions were.
The Great American Bash 2000. Allow me to get the DVD off my shelf, and I will tell you.
I believe the champions were John Morrison and The Miz.
The fatal four-way match for the WWE Tag Team Championship pitted John Morrison and The Miz against Finlay and Hornswoggle, against Jesse and Festus, against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, according to my Silver Vision DVD, which I have just pulled off the shelf. And
it was for the Raw Tag Team titles.
It was for the WWE Tag Team Championships.
Okay.
There were only one set at that particular time. This was, I think it was in the sort of void after the first brand split when they put everything back together.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, that was it, and they won. So, yeah, awesome. Put the DVD back in the shelf. Let's talk about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Let's, shall we? Let's. Now, this is one where I was happy I was wrong.
Yep. We were both secretly quite pleased that the
that you were right.
Non-wrestling celebrity entrance did not win.
Oh, good lord!
Oh, I was right. Oh, good. Yeah.
Good lord! I almost had a heart attack a few times in this match.
I did quite like the. Unfortunately, they had the desired effect of showing just how skinny his chicken legs were, but I did like whichever one of the Saturday Night Live guys had the tights on that had Braun Strowman's face with a line through it, as if to say, Strowman free zone. A lot of good that did him, but I thought the tights were quite a nice touch.
Good lord. If I'm not mistaken, he last eliminated Colin Joust.
Yep.
By Gorilla pressing him over and introducing him to the roster.
Introducing him, yeah, by very much by airmail to the rest of the roster.
Pretty much.
Including, well, the rest of the roster and his co-host.
Correct.
Whose name I am not even slightly bothered to announce has escaped me.
However, I will just state this. I panicked when it looked like they were about to eliminate Strowman.
Yes, very, very glad also that didn't happen.
When one of them got eliminated, I thought to myself, there we go, done deal. And then Strowman almost attempts a running big boot and almost eliminates himself. I was like, don't fall off!
That was one of those heart-in-the-mouth moments, like, don't let it happen. But luckily they didn't.
I actually want Blaze to... I definitely want John Belaw to beat me on this one.
Oh, now you're making up names as well. What's wrong with you?
I am not. I'm just getting you back for early.
Yeah, we've both had a bout of making up name-itis today.
Exactly.
There must be something in the water.
Must be.
Isn't there, Matt Burns?
Yes, John Belaw. Let's continue.
Oh, right, we're both here then. Let's carry on. Yes.
Let's carry on.
Main roster for WrestleMania 35, main card. Well, it began in interesting circumstances, didn't it?
That it did. It actually began in shocking fashion, in shocking way.
Yeah. Because the opening match...
Well, let's not mention the opening match yet. We got to see someone to return.
The return of somebody, that means a fair bit to quite a lot of people.
Brother.
And he was pleased to announce that the Silver Dome was once again rocking. Well, it might have been. That's not where the show was, but then that's not where it was last time he said it either.
True. At least he had acknowledged his own mistake, which was absolutely hysterical.
Comedy gold from the man in yellow and red.
That it was. And absolutely had me in stitches, that did. The fact that
and if you don't know who we're talking about, brother, then where have you been living for the last 35 years?
He is the one and only. He is
the
American-made. He is immortal. He is also the reason why Marvel almost sued WWE for being that destructive.
For use of the word incredible, which they then very swiftly dropped.
Correct. And his name is Double H Hulk Hogan.
Yes. Technically Triple H, because it's Hollywood Hulk Hogan, but let's not go there.
No, he was in red and yellow. He's Hollywood Hogan. He's Hollywood Hogan, not Hollywood Hogan. He's Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan.
No, he isn't, because he's in red and yellow, not black. Okay,
he's always double H. It says Hollywood Hulk. Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, I know. He never uses all three names because, okay.
We know why.
Because there's already a Triple H.
Correct. There's already a Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Indeed.
Correct.
Although I wonder how many current fans of WWE, of the younger end of the spectrum, who perhaps don't even remember him with hair, actually remember that Triple H stands for Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
You actually beat me to that one. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
But anyway, let's get on with this. Much to our shock, this show actually, pretty much as Hulk Hogan had made his announcements, everything. We had somebody come out.
They were rudely interrupted by Mr. Paul Heyman.
Paul? Here now? So soon?
Sorry, what? I mean, I know Hogan's a spotlight attention seeker, but I didn't know you were, Mr. Heyman. What on earth are you doing out this early in the show?
Yeah, exactly. What is he doing?
See, also barging past Alexa Bliss like she wasn't there. He must have been very annoyed.
Must have been, because then he announced, seeing as we're not the main event,
if we're not going on last,
we'll go on first.
And then we'll go somewhere where we're appreciated.
Where we are ultimately appreciated.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Quite a broadside.
Yes.
Which meant the opening match of the card proper of WrestleMania 35 was the WWE Universal Championship match. In a move, go on, let's be honest, none but the smartest of know too much for their own good smart marks could possibly have predicted.
This was supposedly done on the day, and I will be talking a little bit about that after.
Well, yeah, okay, we'll just mention the result, and then I feel that Matt Burns is polishing up the soapbox as we speak.
It's not a soapbox. It's actually the rumour corner.
Oh, okay. And there was me thinking it was a combination of the soapbox and the personal opinion hatchet.
No, rumour corner. Rumour corner with a bit of a soapbox. I'll allow that.
I see. Right, well, so let's not keep the people waiting. The result of the match, probably, let's be honest, surprised nobody and pleased everybody. The winner and new WWE Universal Champion.
He is now the Beast Slayer, Seth Rollins.
The Beast Slayer, who is also the King Slayer, who is also Mr. Burn It Down, who has too many nicknames.
Way too many nicknames. But anyway, let's get back onto it. What was so shocking with this match is the beating that Seth Rollins took prior to the match.
Pretty much as soon as they were both even remotely close to ringside, Lesnar didn't even think about waiting for the bell to ring.
And savagely attacked.
started laying into Rollins in a way that I'm sure had Walter taking notes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the beating, the slams that Seth Rollins was going through, he must have been thinking to himself, really? Why not? I'm going through this for the belts.
He was probably thinking that.
And probably got pushed
it was
him
a
too.
savage beating befitting of the Beast.
However...
But it was a storm that Seth Rollins was able to weather.
He was, but however, he didn't beat Lesnar clean.
No, he certainly did not. He acknowledged it on Raw the next night. A little bit of tactics that might possibly be considered questionable. No,
but then
kidding,
again,
Mr. Rollins.
But then again, it's Brock fricking Lesnar.
I was going to say, in light of the fact that he was facing the Beast, I think we can forgive him.
I think we can.
Especially
no kidding.
In light of the beating he just spent 10 minutes taking, with pretty much no end in sight if he hadn't done something like that. Yeah, we can forgive him.
Yeah. However, as Lesnar went for a F5, he got pushed from behind. Rollins slipped down behind, went for push him, almost knocked into the referee. And while the referee just avoided that situation and got out the ring,
Rollins took full advantage.
Boom! And then decided to curb stomp him multiple times to end his streak.
Absolutely.
Now, the commentator says his plan backfired and everything. Now, are you ready for the rumour corner to pop in right now?
I am waiting for it with bated breath. Do fire away.
Rumour has it that Brock Lesnar, before the show, ended up having a bit of an argument with Vince McMahon.
Ooh. Now, Lesnar, who portrays a hothead on television, allegedly became a bit of a hothead in real life. Non-shocker.
Non-shocker. And supposedly he was demanding the main event spot.
Even in light of the fact that 90% of WWE's promotion, the stuttering promotion that they did for WrestleMania, was advertising that for the first time ever it would be a women's match in the main event slot, meaning they couldn't give it to him even if they wanted to.
They couldn't, especially when it was for both women's championships.
Absolutely. It was kind of a big deal.
It was a big deal. And it ended up being a special moment, that match is, which we'll get to a bit later. However, Lesnar supposedly, rumour has it, was ready to square up to Vince McMahon and ready to potentially fight him. However, security and management got involved. However, that could have been the reason. The weird thing about it is Lesnar's match was meant to be scheduled before the women's match.
Yes.
And Brock Lesnar was saying, well, if I'm not going on last, I will go first. And they were arguing back and forth, which is where the square-up happened. This is only rumoured. And supposedly, Vince McMahon has potentially stated, okay, we'll let you go on first on one ground. The match, from the bell starts to the bell ending, it isn't long.
On one ground, you've got 5 minutes.
You got from when the bell starts. So this is possibly the reason why they had more of the brawl before the bell started.
Yes.
And as he was thinking, I better get my stuff in right now while I've got time.
Yes, very possibly. Who knows?
Pretty much. And as such, after the match, Lesnar got onto a helicopter and left.
He literally packed his stuff up, took his ball, but not his championship because he was no longer in possession of it, and went somewhere else.
Now, a funny story for this now. This is not where the soapbox comes into play. Funny story. Can you remember me saying to you about Matt Riddle?
Matt Riddle, yes.
Bro, you lost your championship from a low blow? What the hell? How about you come and fight me instead? And went on the hunt for Brock Lesnar in like a go-kart. But Lesnar had already left.
Okay.
Funny story.
Did not even know that had happened, but
yeah,
funny nonetheless.
That was, and the irony of it is, I thought you would have noticed that as it was on Twitter.
Hey, you see, no, this is the thing, you see, because, shock horror, I did not watch all of WrestleMania live, ladies and gentlemen.
It wasn't live when that happened. But anyway, moving on.
No, the point being, I watched until the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match.
And then watched the match later.
Acknowledging that I had to work for 9 hours the following day, and it was already 2:30 in the morning, and I was starting at 10:30, went to bed and watched the rest of the show when I got in the next day.
I had the same shift as you, and I managed.
Yes, but I was already tired from TakeOver and 9-hour shift the day after that.
I was already tired.
Look, shut up, I went to bed. I'm not asking for permission.
Mate, you need to start eating your fibres. You know, getting your fruit in.
I eat plenty of fruit.
Anyway, that aside, this is where a bit of the soapbox comes into play. The fact that Lesnar was stating that he should be over the Women's Championship, even though WWE have been marketing first ever women's main event, WrestleMania main event. What the hell?
Idiotic.
I know it's rumoured. Now, here's the thing. As much as it is rumoured and everything, Lesnar has got a known history of wanting to be the main event all the time. And has main evented almost every event.
Yeah, because rightly or wrongly, he feels he deserves it.
Now, this is my own view on this. Fine. You're the main event. You've got you're a big draw. Let me just state this to you, Brock. You're a part-timer.
Yeah. Your job is to basically turn up when the show's already been going an hour, stretch,
bear in
mind, the living daylights, and probably 5 years of the career out of a regular guy who's there all the time, take your title and go home.
And bear in mind, he supposedly turned up late to WrestleMania as well.
Yeah. That was what I was alluding to with the whole turn up when the show's already been going an hour.
This is a problem.
Because
to me,
it's an attitude that, unfortunately, for too long, WWE have kind of allowed to fester rather than facing head on.
Now, let me just state this. In regards to it, I thought what Daniel Cormier said, "Ha ha, you lost," was funny. Now, let me just state this. Lesnar, attitude like this, I know WWE used to have the Attitude Era. We're now in 2019.
Yeah.
The old ways is no longer. It's past it.
No. It's done. It's history.
And allow me to
no longer happening.
And allow me to state this. The main event for WrestleMania, triple threat women's match for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship between the man, Becky Lynch.
Between, technically, the man, the woman, and the Queen, if we're going to use nicknames.
Oh, I like that. I like
the man, the baddest woman on the planet, and the Queen, technically.
I like that. I like it. You know, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. What a match.
Absolutely. Lived up to its billing 100%.
But anyway,
and deserved to be the main event, so thus
correct. We'll
proving
talk more,
Brock Lesnar wrong.
We'll talk more about that bit later on, because there is some speculation and rumours in regards to that one as well. But let me just state this. The fact that he wanted to push and state he wanted to be in the main event
shows a frankly frightening disregard for anyone other than himself.
Correct. And I'm sorry, Lesnar, you are a cog in the machine of WWE, and you should damn well respect it. You made your money. More. You've been making your money from wrestling. Why can't you just give it back?
Yeah, again, because he'll feel that he doesn't have to, because of the whole...
he doesn't have to, but let's just say this.
No, he'll feel that he doesn't have to, but the fact remains he actually should.
He should. And I'm sorry, but that way of thinking of, I can take what I want and leave, because I'm going to go to UFC... Yeah, go to UFC, leave. You did it before.
And guess what?
Don't come back.
You've left. Yeah, but the thing is, Vince McMahon had the final say. He did the right thing.
Yeah.
Whether he wanted to or not.
He ended up losing the championship.
He lay on his back on his way out the door and didn't go anywhere with the title, which is the right thing.
Which is the right thing, but the fact is what the hell... Me personally, I thought the fact that he lost in such a short match was shocking. Because I thought to myself, we got Roman who's having to fight tooth and nail and didn't get it. Until eventually when he did get it, he had to go through hell and back and get to Seth Rollins who just does it.
Does that perhaps suggest... Nothing against Roman or Seth. Does that simply perhaps suggest that there might be a grain of truth in the speculation, and Vince might have finally had enough of his alleged golden boy?
Possibly, because there's also the added rumour that Brock Lesnar was rumoured to be keeping the championship until the next Saudi Arabia event and dropping it supposedly to Roman Reigns.
That was a rumour before the show.
That might not be the case anymore. And if Lesnar doesn't
come back... Well, it's definitely not the case. Unless you didn't mean Brock Lesnar then.
If Lesnar isn't coming back, I'm not... Lesnar is a special case. He is a special draw.
Yes. However,
but if he does
even
come
accounting
back,
for the amount of times we haven't seen him recently, his star power is waning.
If he does come back, don't put a title on him, for God's sake.
No, he doesn't need a title anymore, and after over 2 years in total of absentee champions, keep the title on someone who's going to be there every week for a refreshing change.
Correct. Bring some prestige back to the Universal Championship. Because right now...
Actually, no, to be fair, give it some. Because it's not that old a championship, and it's not exactly been treated with a great deal of respect for most of its life, has it?
Correct. Let's have regular guys having it now. Let's see it.
Yeah.
The only other way I can think of them bringing more, trying to flood prestige straight into that title is merging it with the WWE Championship.
Which they're not going to do, unfortunately.
They're not going to do. They're not. They shouldn't do.
No. Essentially, there's only one way they can make that championship have some prestige again.
Go on.
And that is to, whether it be Seth Rollins or whether it be whoever beats him in the near future or whatever.
Yep.
A nice long title reign.
Correct.
Full of matches where they win clean and just basically increase the prestige of the championship.
Correct. And supposedly, rumour has it, Next in line is Roman Reigns.
Interesting. Is that going to happen at the next pay-per-view?
It might not be the next. We don't know yet. It could be held off until the Saudi Arabia event, but we don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Sure. But the next pay-per-view, I'm assuming, is still
Money in the Bank.
Backlash. Oh, sorry. No, I'm stuck in 2005. Money in the Bank.
It is Money in the Bank. Correct. But anyway, moving on from that, shall we?
Yep.
We shall get on to
We've got a lot more card to go through, and we're still only on the first match, so...
I know. We need to crack on straight away. And let's move on to AJ Styles versus Randy Orton.
A great match, everything it needed to be. Right man won. Can't think of a lot more to say about it, really.
Great match. Right man. I thought Orton was going to win, but I thought the match was slow-paced.
It was one of those matches where AJ needed to win a lot more than Randy.
Yes, he did, and I felt that this match could have gone a bit more faster, but it didn't.
Yeah, I think that was a deliberate thing on the part of the bookers to maybe try and slow things down a little bit after the hectic start.
True, it might have been possibly because of with Seth Rollins beating Lesnar so quickly. Whoops.
Yes.
That
they might have needed to fill a bit of time.
That they needed to fill a bit of time, which I thought was interesting, but still a good match.
And if anyone knows how to fill a bit of time, it's Rest Hold Orton.
Chinlock Orton.
That's the one.
Right, anyway, let's move on. AJ Styles beat Randy Orton, and then we get on to the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. SmackDown's Tag Team Championship, which was
SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
Usos defeating Aleister Black and Ricochet. They're back again.
Them again.
Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. And the Bar.
And the Bar. The Bar.
Cesaro
more to say about them if we manage to talk about Raw in a bit, or possibly we'll save that for next week. Who knows?
We'll have to save the discussions for the Raw.
Yeah, Raw after WrestleMania, which is RAW. Yeah, well done, WWE. We got it.
But anyway, let's just take this. This match I thought was absolutely brilliant.
It really was. It was a fantastic showcase of what all of those four teams can do. And it did everything it needed to.
If I'm not mistaken...
Big move.
Eat foot, eat knee, eat kick.
Eat foot. Eat sole of foot, eat bridge of foot. Just for a bit of variety. Eat knee, eat foot again.
It was loads.
Yeah.
This was absolutely brilliant. And I'd say out of all the tag team matches, for me, for that event, that was the tag team MVP.
I would agree. And the Usos retained.
That they did.
Yeah, made all the more baffling in light of what happened on SmackDown. But anyway, that's a discussion for next week.
That's for next week. But anyway, let's move on. Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Correction.
Now
Shane McMahon defeating The Miz.
In what can only be described as controversial circumstances.
No. I like this.
No, it was controversial. They were both out cold, and Shane just happened to be the one who landed on the top in the pinfall position that they were in while they were lying unconscious on the mat.
Correct. And supposedly, if you were watching it, you would have seen Shane move his arm, even though he wasn't actually unconscious. Even though he meant to be unconscious. Whoops. But anyway.
Yeah.
I thought this match...
the point being, this match had everything it needed to have.
This match I thought was absolutely brilliant. Did,
including,
even had a swerve.
including potentially cringe mania level interlude from Mrs. Dad, which wasn't actually all that cringeworthy at all.
Oh no, I thought
it did its job.
That was Mrs. Dad. I thought that was an older version of Ken Masters from Street Fighter.
Trust me, I have a joke up my sleeve that will get you back for that later. I don't know, I'm going to have to shoehorn it in.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that in. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in.
Yeah, no, you got me. I did not see that coming, but I totally get what you mean.
I had to throw that in simply because I saw the meme this week of someone put, then, first Street Fighter Ken Masters, now the current Ken Masters forever, and it's Mrs. Dad. I just broke.
Yeah. Wonderful. But yeah, as I said, it could have been cringe-worthy mess that massively detracted from the match. It wasn't. It served its purpose.
It did. It
ratcheted up the tension, and
yeah,
I like this new intense side to the Miz.
Yes, and especially when it involved family. Miz.
Oh yeah.
This was. I have got to give one thing to Shane. What the hell with them bumps?
I don't know.
Especially the one where he hits him with the monitor over the railings. Oh my god.
What? Where he bounced off the golf cart?
Yeah.
And everyone genuinely thought
he was
dead. The Miz has killed the company's
son.
Has killed the CEO.
Son. The CEO's son. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Has nobody told Shane what his surname is and that he doesn't have to do that? Although, with respect, it's nice to see he has actually inherited the McMahon family principle of, I wouldn't ask them to do anything I'm not prepared to.
Correct.
So,
Correct. He pretty much threw him, blindly throwing himself backwards.
I don't know if he thought he would actually stay on the golf cart roof or not, but either way, the landing on the floor afterwards, it didn't look like he would plan for that, and it looked nasty.
It did. I can also say, this match, I expected it to be good.
But it surpassed all expectations.
It did. Absolutely amazing, barbaric. And unfortunately, isn't the match of the night for my pick.
That is how spectacular the night was. It is not mine either, although it's definitely in the top 3.
It's in the top 3. It is.
It is. It absolutely is. Right. But we need to move on because we're pressed for time because we've been talking for ages already.
That we have. We'll move on to the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, which is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, between the champions, Bayley and Sasha Banks.
The Boss and Hug Connection.
Yeah, them two.
Versus the Iconics. Versus Nia Jackson Tamina. Versus Natalya and Beth Phoenix.
An interesting combination.
Definitely.
And Beth Phoenix didn't look like she'd lost a step.
No, she didn't. You could see.
All I can say is retired too early.
Definitely. Please come back.
Yeah, please come back full time.
Please come back. Please come back. Please come back. You still got it. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic match. Result, a bit of a surprise, but...
yeah, it was a surprise. The Iconics won.
The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Really?
By pinning the current champion. Well, one of them.
Yeah, although I would just like to point out, by pinning one of the current champions after a separate tag team hit their finisher on them and then jumping in and kicking them out of the ring to take advantage.
But they did tag in legally, and the referee could not count Beth Phoenix Shoulders as the winner because she was not legal.
This is true.
Well spotted by the referee,
they seized an opportunity and they took it.
They did. However,
they spotted and they seized it. Whatever.
What?
Sorry, I'm just correcting my own grammar. Carry on.
This match also has another rumour. So Rumour Corner is back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Supposedly, apparently this decision was made last minute. And that the current champions, the Boss and Hook Connection, were not made aware of it until the day.
Which, of course, as we know from many a past experience, is not the best way to keep your talent on the level and happy.
Especially with them going across NXT.
Is it the revival?
Correct. Which, with them being supposedly as well...
Yeah, appearing on NXT and saying we're going to defend these titles anywhere and everywhere, correct, and then flat out not being given the chance, smacks of desperation.
And supposedly, it feels as though some people suggest that the Iconics won't hold that. They won't make the Women's Tag Team Championships as serious. However, I do think that they are a good tag team to win it. And I think they could actually end up surprising us and showing how good they are because they have massively improved. And I am with Johnny Gargano on this one. They are going to be something big.
Okay. I'd like you to be right about that, but for me it remains to be seen.
We'll have to wait and see. But because of the loss, did anybody notice, and we've got to mention Raw a little bit now, did anybody notice that Sasha Banks was not on Raw?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Now, normally she's in the corner of the Hugger one. Bayley's corner.
Bayley, yeah. She was noticeable by her absence.
Correct.
When, also possibly quite annoyed, Bayley was, frankly, buried by by Alexa Bliss.
Potentially. Now, she could be the next person in line going for the championship, for the women's championship, which we'll get onto who won that later. Now, what was so interesting in regards to this is the fact that the reason why she was not there is supposedly Sasha Banks, last minute, on a house show, had to apologise for not showing up. And on a TV show.
Okay.
As well.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly some speculation of family had come up, and she ended up apologising for not turning up for a televised event. Which was unfortunate. Supposedly the television show directors were going mental, but the host was supposedly stated she's welcome anytime back on the show at any time, so don't know in regards to that. However, in the meantime, rumour has it that Sasha was attempting to hand in her notice.
Yes. Something that obviously is an ongoing situation, but I'm thinking that Vince McMahon is not keen on her actually doing.
Now, here's the problem. WWE right now need to focus on what they want to do. If they're saying one thing, they don't need to be switching all of a sudden. Last minute.
That's true.
Which is, okay, I understand you're going for the shotgun, or it works, but not when you've already promised one thing to one team, supposedly. And this is all...
Allegedly, yes.
This is all allegedly. If it is, then... Personally, I think if they're not doing anything for Sasha, it might be best for her to go elsewhere and probably do more. Because
okay. It's a plan of her to go elsewhere, is it? I thought it was more a case of
if they're
more
not
like
using
Dean Ambrose, in that it was just she wanted to recharge the batteries. I didn't realise it was frustration at misuse.
Supposedly, it's a frustration at misuse.
Well, we'll keep you up to date on this story as it develops. But
if it is that it is the case, then fair enough. Now, fingers crossed. If she does quit, she is able to go to. She's got doors open to go many other places, and I'm pretty sure she'll be a recognised name wherever she goes, which she's guaranteed. But her as much as it will dishearten me, I wouldn't mind seeing her elsewhere. But hopefully they do come to some agreements where we can see her more on WWE television, as I think she's still got plenty to do and plenty to give.
Absolutely.
So
I couldn't agree more.
So with that in mind, I hope that this rumour is only speculation and that she isn't leaving.
So do I. I sincerely hope that she continues to play a valued role on WWE TV.
Correct. Let's move on to a wonderful match.
An epic match. Again, perhaps not match of the night, but only because, seriously, of the amount of competition. I said perhaps not. It might be. It depends on your personal opinion.
True. For me, this was a great match.
Yeah, potential to be match of the night, depending on your take on things.
My take on this is this match was match of the night for me.
Okay then.
Simply because the story it told.
Well, there is something on which I can't fault you. It definitely told a fantastic story.
That it was.
Oh, hint. Do you think we should tell people what match it actually is?
Correct. Which is the new Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE
Championship. Again, I think this might be the first time in WrestleMania history as well, since WrestleMania 1, when it wasn't defended, when one or both of WWE's main championships have been so low down the card.
Correct.
Just a sign of the depth of quality of the matches in the card, though. Nothing against the quality of this match, because, this match was, again, not my match of the night, but again, it was, if we said earlier the other one was one of my top three, this was the other part of my top three that wasn't the number one.
As much as I wanted to put the other one, I'm actually undecided on the actual. I'll go with the tie then.
Fair enough. But anyway,
I'll change it. I'll put this as one of the match of the nights, as I think there's another match that was just as good.
I think there's probably 3 equal matches of the night, to be honest.
And Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, wow, absolutely epic. And
epic
told the story.
All the way.
And what a way to finish the match.
Oh, yes. Fantastic finish. A fantastic bit of storytelling. And the fairy tale did come true.
That it did, with the winner being a new WWE Championship. Champion.
WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Kofi Kingston.
Yes.
And we don't just mean the hemp belt either.
Nope. The proper golden leather
WWE
Championship was returned. And damn, it's good to see someone wearing it who deserves it.
Yes.
And who, let's face it, but for an injury and a substitution in, early February, nobody even thought would get in the picture.
Yeah. Congratulations,
He did. He's
Kofi.
proved us all wrong every step of the way, and congratulations, Kofi.
Hashtag
you
Kofi
deserve it. clap, 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 clap.
Hashtag Kofi Mania.
Indeed.
Absolutely
Kofi
phenomenal.
Mania is running wild.
Absolutely amazing. Anyway, moving on. Because we have got to move on quickly. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio.
Not sure what was happening there. Not 100% sure why Rey Mysterio not 100%. Or...
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologise. I think there was a bit of distortion there. If you could you just repeat that, please?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if there's a storyline behind this one for why. I'm not sure if Rey Mysterio wasn't 100% or he simply agreed to it to get Samoa Joe over as an absolute beast. But, wow, the fastest match of the night. And one of only two, I believe, matches where the title did not change hands.
It was. Hang on.
Samoa Joe.
Hang on. I'm just...
I believe
yes, it is. Two.
I know that the Usos retained, and this was the only other one, I believe.
Spoilers?
Hey, what? No, we've already talked about the Usos, haven't we?
No, I was on about the main event. The other matches. Spoilers?
Anyway. Damn it. Well, I've done it now. I can't take it back. Let's just ignore that and move on. Ladies and gentlemen, that didn't happen. Samoa Joe retained the US Championship in, what was it, about a minute?
About a minute. Countering
against Rey Mysterio.
Countering wheelbarrow straight into choke?
Yeah.
What the hell?
The flip side of the coin to, which, was it WrestleMania or was it a SummerSlam? When Rey Mysterio defeated JBL for said title in almost a shorter time.
Not WrestleMania.
No, I thought it was a SummerSlam, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
But either way,
wow.
The flip side to that made Joe look strong, whatever the reasons behind it were.
We'll discuss more
did
of
its
that.
Job.
We'll discuss more of that in regards to previous, the SmackDown and everything on next week's episode.
Indeed.
Then we move on to Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Yes, the returning Roman Reigns, well, he's thoroughly returned now, he's not returning anymore, versus the Scottish Psychopath, a nickname that I really like.
Damn right.
And which really fits Drew McIntyre quite nicely.
Definitely.
Great match. And possibly, even though it would possibly have dented the feel-good story of his return, I think possibly wrong man won.
Possibly, but he had to. He had to have Roman Reigns winning, especially with it being his first match back.
Yeah, really, like I said, this was the feel-good WrestleMania where all the right things happened, generally. They have so far. So, yeah, it kind of had to be done.
It had to be done.
Roman had to win.
Correct. But personally aside, I thought that was still a good match. Great, but here's the thing. Drew didn't suffer any less.
Exactly. Oh, excuse me. This is what happens when the match is executed well. In defeat, Drew lost nothing. Well, okay, correct. He did. He will feel that he was slighted massively, but the point is he hasn't lost any momentum going forward.
Correct. But absolute great match, great way for it to return. Welcome back, Roman Reigns.
Indeed.
And let's move on to a brutal match.
Brutal. In a night full of them.
Which I believe was the longest match, wasn't it?
As far as I'm aware, yes. I don't have the match times to hand, but I believe so.
Which was Triple H versus Batista in a no-holds-barred match. And if Triple H had lost,
his in-ring career would have been over.
Now, as you can tell from what I've just said, Triple H
Spoiler,
had
he
defeated...
didn't. He didn't lose, no.
And this was supposedly, rumour has it's Batista's last match for WWE.
Apparently, yep.
Because
he's now
saying he's retired.
Vying with The Rock for who can be the biggest movie star. Hint, it's still The Rock at the moment, but the gap is getting smaller all the time.
Damn right it is, especially with Guardians and everything.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm very much looking forward to the end of the month.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because have you heard what the main event is for Avengers Thunderbastard? Apparently, it's Thanos against Jimmy Havoc in a no-holds-barred Infinity Gauntlet on a pole match.
That is not the actual match.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a joke. I thought a rather good one, but a joke nonetheless.
It got me chuckled. Thank you very much.
Yeah, also, I had to mention it on air because I can never remember the name of what actual Avengers film is coming up next. So, in light of my favourite strong-style British wrestling promotion, all Avengers films are now referred to by me with the subtitle Thunderbastard.
It's Endgame.
No, but it's not. It's Avengers Thunderbastard. It just sounds better.
Oh, God, Lord. It's produced by Disney. They're not going to put Thunderbastard.
To be followed next year by Avengers where men throw men at men.
What the hell?
And Avengers, we don't like to use the sit-down gun.
Oh, come on.
And then possibly following up with that Avengers Beyond Thunderbastard.
Oh, my God.
Right. All right, enough of the Progress chapter title jokes. Let's just leave that there.
Let's just leave that there. For Christ's sake, we'll be here all day. Anyway, back... Credits to you. You got me back.
Yeah, I told you I would.
You would.
I told you I would. I had to, because yours was so good I couldn't let it go.
It was good. But anyway, Triple H versus Batista in a no-holds-barred match. Ow!
Ouchie. Mucho very, very stiff shots.
And let me just state this. If anybody who has jewellery on them and they wrestle, what's that match? And just, when a promoter or a trainer says to you, get rid of the jewellery, here's a good reason why.
Yes. Owie, owie, flipping ow.
Ow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not expect that.
Also, if at any point you are a professional wrestler in this country or anywhere else, and you make it to, I'm guessing somewhere in the region of 45, which Triple H is, or north of 50, which Batista is, and you still look that good and can still have a match like that, then frankly, sir, you have done well with your life.
Congratulations, you're doing well.
You're doing bloody well. Because those two old men beat the living tar out of each other in a way that defied their age.
The funny thing about it is, it was a no-holds-barred. It was a fight. And that's what it was going to be.
It was an absolute fight. There's no two ways about it. It's all it was ever going to be. It lived right up to expectations, and my God. Yes. Great match.
Great match.
Did we mention that Triple H won?
Yes, we did.
I think we did.
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool.
Especially with an assistance from Ric Flair.
Of course, to get his own back for his 70th birthday celebrations being ruined on Raw.
So he decided to ruin...
Continuity in storylines. Don't you just love it?
You've got to. So he decided to ruin Batista's WrestleMania moment.
And why not?
Why not? But anyway, moving on, let's get on to the 14th match of WrestleMania. 14 of 16. We're almost
14 of 16, yeah.
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
And a match I did not expect to be so short.
Nor did I expect to be so far up the card.
Yes, but well done. Congratulations. This is the Kurt Angle's final match, his farewell match. This was Kurt
I would just like to point out, I did not expect it to be so far up the card because of his opponent, not because of anything to do with Kurt Angle. Just want to make that clear.
Okay, it was Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin.
It was. Now, despite many howls of protestation, allegedly, from the fan base, WWE announced this and stuck with it.
That they did.
And Baron Corbin held up his end of the bargain quite well, I thought.
He did. That he did. In case if anybody wants to know what we're on about, Baron Corbin defeated Kurt Angle in his last match.
In Kurt Angle's farewell match.
For WWE.
With a spectacular end of days.
That it was.
A finishing move which, given the circumstances, had a scarily appropriate name.
Yeah. Very much so. And Baron Corbin being Baron Corbin, told you I was going to do it. I told you.
Yeah, of course.
Now,
but I did like the fact that...
Do something with this.
Yeah, I did like the fact that he won, he got the hell out of the ring, and he left Kurt with the fans after the match.
And the message that Kurt gave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Emotional moment.
It was. And he even told the fans to chant that you suck. Did not expect that. And here's the thing. I believe many wrestlers wished him a farewell, and I believe even Bully Ray even went on to put a message on stating, absolute true legend, as he is on his way out. Didn't even have to take the victory. Congratulations, Kurt Angle.
I'm just wondering, I can't remember where I saw the sign in the crowd, whether it was the Raw before WrestleMania, at WrestleMania, or the Raw afterwards, but the guy in the front row who had the big neon yellowy green sign that said simply, "You never sucked," pretty much summed it up.
It was actually at both WrestleMania and the Raw after WrestleMania.
Which explains why I couldn't remember where I'd seen it.
Yeah.
Because he never did suck.
He never did.
Hence why the chants were ironic, and why he, when he realised this, came to love them.
Correct. Congratulations, Kurt Angle. Thank you. Thank you,
Kurt Angle.
We hope nothing but the best. And
yeah,
as a slight note, we'll just need to mention a bit of Raw. Good that he got a bit of comeuppance on Baron Corbin, Angle slamming, ankle lock. However,
absolutely.
Lars.
However, what?
Lars Sullivan.
Yes. Finally making his appearance.
He did, but
on the main roster, and
damn it, literally,
by God, to quote JR,
he just broken Kurt Angle in half with a freak accident, and then flying headbutt.
Yeah, whoever actually went into the training school, looked at Lars Sullivan and went, "I bet you could do a mean flying headbutt. Were you trying to shorten people's careers? What's wrong with you, man?"
It looked like it killed him.
Yes, genuinely did. In fact, nearly as much as it looked like it had killed Matt Hardy the next night on SmackDown.
Yes, which we'll discuss that one next week.
Yeah.
Before we get to 15 and 16...
Yeah.
We have got to discuss the performance.
The performance?
Yes.
Oh, do we have to?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll give it a quick segment.
Let's get it out of the way then.
Elias decided to do a quick segment where he had a band, his own band, which was consisted of himself, which ironically got used against him a bit later on. And as he was about to do his concert, he was rudely interrupted by none other than, his name is John Cena.
None other than the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Huh? So we didn't hear
music.
Do, 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 do. We heard.
We heard.
So you think you're untouchable?
Yes, the theme tune, which most of Cena's younger fans now have probably never heard him use.
Correct.
Since he stopped using it 10 years ago.
A long time ago. The
12
Doctor
years
of
ago,
Thugonomics
probably.
came back and brutalized Elias.
He
Savagely.
certainly did. With a renamed for one night only, FU.
Pretty much. And he even showed what WWE stands for Elias.
He told Elias once and for all what it actually stands for.
What he considers it stands for, which, what was it? Wasted Wrestling
Experiment.
Yeah. Ouch! And then on Raw...
Zing!
And then on Raw, you got Elias challenging Cena to a rap contest to then state anybody who interrupts him would be a dead
the
man.
next person that interrupts him would be a dead man. Probably not expecting that to be literal.
Yeah. I take it.
Wait.
I'm sorry. I've got to do this now. Oh, no. I'm not doing it. That's a bad pun. I'm not doing that pun.
Okay,
I'll have to tell you the pun after.
I will, in that case, do a bad pun in your place.
Go for it.
When, in the middle of Raw, The Undertaker came out, be honest,
yeah.
When you heard the bong, did you think it was going to be Rob Van Dam instead? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, for God's sake. It's not going to be Van Dam, because we all know where he's gone. He's on Impact Wrestling.
Yes.
And he's doing it for the money.
Anything that is, does, or goes bong, and Van Dam's going to be close by. Come on.
You need to be bonged on the head.
Moving swiftly.
Almost. Anyway, moving on. Elias got taken care of on the Raw after WrestleMania by Undertaker and was savagely beaten by Cena on WrestleMania as well. Let's move on
Which
to
was a bit of
banter
relief for everyone not named Elias before the two main matches on the card. The semi-main and main event.
Which the semi-main was the singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which was Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. Correction. The Demon Finn Balor versus the Almighty Bobby Lashley.
Which featured, quite frankly, the most head-scratching moment of the night.
Go on.
During which, for the win, the 180-pound Demon Finn Balor successfully powerbombed the 280-pound Almighty Bobby Lashley.
Yep, and then stomped him.
Yeah, coup de grace for the win.
In short fashion.
Actual hell.
In less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell?
I mean, we've got used to the whole idea that Lashley doesn't work by the hour, but... Whew. And also, I do believe that last time Finn Balor had reason to call upon the Demon, he dispatched Baron Corbin in equally short measure.
It was.
He's making a habit of it.
What makes me laugh is, when he decides to face Brock, why did he use it then?
Hindsight is a wonderful thing. If only, eh?
Yeah, if only. But anyway.
If only.
Congratulations to Finn Balor becoming the WWE Intercontinental Champion.
For the second time.
For the second time.
And that's pretty much wrapped everything up. There's only one match left.
There is, which was...
it's nothing important. Just 35 years in the making and with 2 titles on the line.
Winner, take
typical
all.
Run-of-the-mill main event match.
Which is winner, take all.
Winner.
Triple threat match.
Oh.
For the WWE Raw Women's Championship and the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, pitting Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey.
Raw Women's Champion.
Ronda Rousey. Versus
and the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Charlotte
Flair.
Wow.
And we all know what happened.
Yeah, my other pick for a match of the night.
No, my absolute pick for match of the night, purely because of the finish and what happened as much as anything else.
Well, I've got to have a bit of a discussion about the finish, but the match was absolutely brilliant.
I say the result. Yeah, the finish itself, yeah, I understand exactly where you're going with that. But the match itself, fantastic. Fitting way to close the show.
And I believe another streak ended that night.
Yes.
Ronda
the
Rousey's
undefeated streak of Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, correct. Now, a lot of people are saying, wow, that's really great. However, speculation have it, Rumour Corner's back.
Rumour Corner
is back. Rumour has it that Becky Lynch was supposed to have tapped out Charlotte Flair in the ring.
Interesting. Is that why the finish may possibly be featuring on one of Matthew's little compilations fairly shortly?
Possibly, seeing as the referee ended up counting 3, even though at one point Ronda's shoulders weren't on the mat. However, the referee
they were down for 1, up in the air, and then back down for the other 2.
No,
so
1,
3
2,
cumulatively,
up.
But not all together.
Correct. However, the referee wasn't in the best position to see the shoulder up. Still counted, and even if he might have just made... But speculation has it that the referee, in regards to that, has been in serious under fire.
Completely understandable, because it almost ruined the absolute marquee moment of the whole night.
Correct. However, it hasn't, because the win was still going to the right person, Becky Lynch. But supposedly, certain writers certain people who might have given orders might have been released, supposedly, in regards to this, but Vince was not happy.
Completely understandably, I've got to say.
Supposedly not happy, and it was visibly seen that Ronda wasn't happy either.
Well, that is understandable if the result that happened isn't what was supposed to happen. I can completely see that. However, we don't know that for sure.
We don't know. It's only speculation. Now, but the fact is, she did look shocked.
Yeah.
Now, apologies for this, Ronda. Yes, you managed to get the women's division to the main event of WrestleMania. You lost the match. Take into account, WrestleMania can only be on for so long. They might have done it. The referee might have thought of a Jim Cornette special. Schoolboy roll up, get the fuck out of there.
By this point, WrestleMania had been going on for nearly 5.5. No, check that, including the pre-show, nearly 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours. I remember back in the day when there was a 8 or 9 match card in the Attitude Era, and they were done and dusted in 2 hours 53.
Yeah, but let me just state this. Supposedly she was upset the fact that it didn't make her look strong. Sorry, but you've got to get out of there. And let me just state this.
Unfortunately, look strong, be damned. Weak. It wasn't your night.
You don't look weak.
Yeah, losing one match doesn't make you look weak.
It doesn't. And
the
on
night
top of
wasn't
that,
about you.
And on top of that, you were the one with the least experience. So you losing Martin won't have caused any damage to that match. It's done no damage to you.
Absolutely not.
There's nothing wrong with losing Ronda. Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with it.
If anything, why don't you just use this to become even more of a badass?
Exactly. Or alternatively, why don't you do what you keep threatening to?
And start breaking
Go away and think about it for 2 or 3 years and start making a family.
Ooh.
Because you are young enough to still come back. You've been threatening that you want to start a family. In light of this, if you're that angry, now might be the time.
Ooh, ouch. Savage there. Savage.
Yeah, it's just a thought.
However, moving on from this, congratulations to Becky Lynch, who has
Congratulations to the man who has royally earned from the moment she won the Royal Rumble.
Correct.
And what she thought was going to be one ended up being both WWE Women's Championships. Fantastic.
Correct.
Well done. Good for her.
And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to make this a wrap-up now.
We absolutely are, because
we have been on for a long time.
A very long show, and we're going to have to save talking about Raw and SmackDown
till next week.
And probably supplemental draft as well. The draft, what's it called now? It's not the draft anymore. The Superstar Shake-Up. We'll have to talk about that as well next week.
Yep, Raw. So next week will be Raw, SmackDown, and Superstar Shake-Up.
Wonderful.
So unfortunately, we can't digress too much more into it because of time fitting. Unfortunately, we thought we would do this because seeing as it was WrestleMania weekend last week, and we thought we would do it for this. And as we stated, we did state that we would give you a bit more content if we could, and we have. So with that,
we absolutely have.
I am going to have to, we are going to have to call this a wrap up now in regards to the, wrestling news for this week. And what a week it has, we've had a lot to discuss.
What a week it's been. Yeah, absolutely. But now I believe it is my turn to take a back seat and Matt Burns' turn to take a deep breath as he gets as many plugs in as quickly as he can.
I am going to get them in as quickly as possible, and let me just state this. I will not be mentioning all of them. I might not be mentioning all of them, but I will not be discussing much further into them or discussing too much into them, just as we are so been on for so long. But anyway,
because we're so pressed for time, you're just going to do them as quickly as you can. So,
pretty much,
without further ado, here we go.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out UKWM, also known as UK Wrestling Media. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. Beginner classes are on Monday, and I believe they are £10 per class between 7 PM and 9 PM. Please look on there on the social media for details. JT Printing and Stitching, please check them out. Please check out charities like Mind and Changes for Health and Wellbeing. Please check out Team 4-Star. Please check out bands like The New Breed, Kamens. Of course, always please check out Botchamania. You're welcome, Matthew. And of course, WrestleCrap.
You're welcome, Marty.
Please also check out Bill DeFranco and, of course, When Fandom Strikes, also on TikTok and also on YouTube. Please check out Luke Moto, who's been doing his vlogging. And, of course, as we have mentioned, some geeky stuff on today's episode, especially with Marvel, big movie coming out. Avengers Endgame is coming out. Please check out Geek of the Week podcast, which stars Magic Mark Adams. Please check him out. And, of course, please check out Turnbuckle TV, which has got some great wrestling content, which is for great prices. Please check them out, of course. And, of course, always please check out your local wrestling. Just for some examples, United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling for You, and many, 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 many others. And, of course, please check us out on the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. And, we've got it could be where you listen to us live, past broadcast episodes. We do show reviews on there, of course, and everything on there is absolutely fantastic. Also, we do have actually got a contact page so we can get in touch with us. You've also got a links page, but let me just state this for clarity: we cannot be held responsible for any, for the content of these said links, as we cannot be held responsible for external websites. And of course, please check out our social media on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, but our Twitter handle's a little bit different, which is spelled WRESLING4THWALL. And please check out some past episodes on Spotify.
Deep breath, good job. I think that's everything. Fantastic.
I believe that would be,
and that would that in mind.
Yeah. As always,
I think that's it.
That is it for this week. So please, as always, please stay well, stay safe. We'll catch you next week. And of course, as always, check out your local wrestling. So it's a goodbye from myself. And I believe it's
a goodbye from me.
Catch you later. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.